spaghetti. I just can't get enough of it. It's just so delicious. Without sauce, I mean, I've been missing out on Italian dishes my entire life. And no,
Hi, y'all.
I am not simping for Italian food. Unlike what some people said in the last episode, I will have you know. Anyway.
You were totally sipping for her.
Shut up.
Sim. Guilty. Guilty, guilty, guilty.
Guilty as charged.
But people, we are back. It's me, Sylv, Mooney, and Circus tonight. We are going to be finishing the final chapter of the first case. Will we take down Giselle Brett, or will we be thrown in prison, and will Kazuma be barred from ever practicing law again, and will the government still be corrupt? We're about to find out.
Stay tuned. Dun dun dun.
Well, this is part 3. So here we go.
Yeah. I gotta get onto the page so I can pay attention to the chat.
Well, if you see the screen share on our Skype, you can already see it.
I'm talking about the chat log. So I
That's
can
what I
make sure
mean.
nobody's. Oh.
That's what I mean too. Anyway,
Well, you know.
it's like already 1:15 over there, and this trial's been going on for about 3 hours.
It seems like it's been going on for 3 weeks.
Well, it has been 3 weeks.
I know. Guilty.
Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why this sudden ingress into my courtroom?
Ha! A judicial assistant and a woman, no less.
Simp!
The rules state that females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify.
Incel!
Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense.
Ha! You're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded.
Zip, zip, zip.
5 minutes! I will not allow a moment more!
But, Your Excellency!
I am most grateful.
Who exactly are you?
I'm sorry, there's no time. Please simply accept this for now.
What is it? A report about something? Written in English.
It's Giselle Brett's research.
The English woman's?
After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and borrowed this paper.
Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case?
I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself.
Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of Carrare and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Carrare? What's that? I've never heard that word before. Time's up! The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom.
Oh, he'll sip over one girl but not the other? What the fuck?
There was too little time for me to read it in detail. But I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover.
If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it.
This is wonderful. Thank you. Really, thank you.
Do 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 do.
Goodbye then, and good luck.
GLHF.
And now I fade away like a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation.
Dun, dun, dun.
Sam. You have had long enough, Council. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. I ask the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? Sorry, I didn't mute for a sec.
The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
Renosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance.
Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence.
That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett?
Yes, Your Excellency?
Shit,
You
excuse me.
wouldn't... If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer.
The delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea. Hey, I'm gonna cut off.
That was an auto scroll.
Oh. Something about tea time and having to leave.
Yeah, pretty much.
Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realized it was raised as a question, however...
Yeah, there are points in this game where, like, it will not even let you, like... It will not even let you press A. It will just be like, nope, I'm interrupting you.
Damn it.
I must ask you to treat that as an order.
Order of the court.
I've said many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense.
My apologies, dear lady. Boom. So, counsel. What is this new evidence that demands the court's attention? Alright, I gotta do a small BRB.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Alright.
I'll take... Circus, you could be the judge for the time being until Sylph comes back.
Okay.
Mr. Zale Brett, we understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yume University, doing research. Research, by sheer coincidence perhaps, into a deadly poison. What?
Poison? Where are you going with this, counsel?
A toxin known as Carrere, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
What? What complete and utter nonsense! Carrere, you say? I never even heard of it.
You wouldn't have done.
What do you mean?
I mean that you wouldn't have heard of Carrere before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country.
It doesn't exist? Correct, which means no matter what tests the police can do for toxins, they never identify Carrere. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison. Wah!
Order! Order! Order!
According to this report, authored by the visiting research student from England, Carrere has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists. To lace their arrows? The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle, and it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with Carrere suffer instant death. Oh, thank you, Fragilities, as for now following us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Self would thank you if she was here.
Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Trumpery! These aspersions are utter trumpery! To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would have surely noticed.
That's true. What do you say about that, Inspector?
Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What do you mean, the other way around?
The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that Carrere was used.
Explain yourself, Consul.
The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all.
How terrible!
Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects can go largely unnoticed.
But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death.
The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe, it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail.
Respiration?
In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation, and all the while the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move.
That's hideous!
To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly Carrere poison.
And you're suggesting this bottle, Counsel, actually contains the terrifying poison.
This is all very convenient, isn't it? Hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing. What a happy tale for the defense.
If I may.
All these facts. You think you're so clever.
Shut up! It is you who must be taught.
Of course.
So,
Dear lady.
So, this is how you Japanese behave, isn't?
What?
You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act.
Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual.
Whatever do you mean?
Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime? That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Enough of this! I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules!
What's so funny?
Oh, excuse me. Your Excellency?
Yes, Miss Brett.
May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please?
What I miss?
Okay,
no.
Matt. Don't
Oh.
worry. I read your part.
Thank you.
No problem.
Well, yes, I don't see, why not? Judge, what are you doing? What is you doing, girl?
We're giving we're, Now that's how you serve wine.
This girl's gonna incriminate herself.
Ooh.
Get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys.
Sorry?
To an English woman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics. It's laughable, really.
Pastor Bat is saying the dinner looks delicious today.
Oh, by the way, Soph, we got a follower, a new follower.
But I'm getting bored of it now. Well, now it's time for the games to end. Cheers.
Wait! What are you doing?
No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair.
Damn, she moves like a robot.
They're just like, what the fuck just happened?
Goodness. Whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned.
So, no Carrere. The bottle was clean, is that what you're saying?
You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett.
I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries.
Ah, yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with the assistance you have given.
This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how? How did she...
She
How did
switched
she-
bottles.
How did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it.
Well, I suppose, if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade? Will make for interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London.
There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead.
Wait, did she give herself immunity over it? Like, you know how with some of them, like, you take a little at a time and then it'll...
Well,
Yeah.
we're about to find out. Come on, Renosuke. We have all the clues now. That bottle of water... The culprit did put Carrere poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious?
Fool! Are you blind? There is no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw
Miss Brett drinking the water from it?
That's right. Which rather complicates your argument, I think.
And I believe that complication can be explained.
how exactly?
I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be.
Very well, the defense truly intends to assert this claim. Then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume this supposedly poisoned water unscathed?
The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
That's not a valid explanation.
No?
You're not a valid explanation.
After all, we don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency.
I'm not trying to ridicule anyone. Honest. I'm just reading Sasato-san's notes.
I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct us to the pertinent section, Counselor. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle?
We've been hearing a lot about this Carrere poison. And it's left me curious about something.
Oh, Counsel?
Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting.
So if we've been led to believe, yes.
And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
Get to the point, please.
But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison.
Good gracious, Counsel, now that would be madness.
But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound.
Through a wound, you say? I see. That makes sense.
Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When Carrere enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However... Thank you, Nagito, for following us.
Hello.
When it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever.
What?
Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew Carrere's special characteristics, and you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself.
You meddling little...
Uh-oh.
Kid?
Rapscallion!
Leon!
Wait,
Whoa.
why is the bird alive?
Because it's alive.
It's decoration. It's supposed to be stuffed.
It's a living swan. Well, Renosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be.
Really? Me?
A lawyer?
Objection!
All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure, but I fail to see how it possibly...
Shut up! So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some fact he read in a book. But I'm afraid
Apple
knowledge
poison?
doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly.
What are you trying to say?
Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw.
Schoolboyish? Flaw?
As even your brain has managed to deduce, Carrere is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric suckers.
Oh, yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they?
Wait, stomach acid? Is that...
I think that's
So,
what they're...
if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he?
Ah! That's right.
Good gracious.
That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no?
Oh.
Oh, Nagito here is giving us some information. By the way, those are all true facts. Carrere is a poison that comes from plants in Central and South America. Carrere is an acolyte poison. It kills you by paralyzing your diaphragm, and with the diaphragm powering the lungs, therefore letting us breathe. Well, not really.
Oh. Order, order in the court, order. The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way. It is oh, the screen's kind of blurry right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why
Are
is
you-
the court camera covered in Vaseline?
Who let the sip and Vaseline?
Hold on, let me unshare it and then reshare it again.
Alright,
Oh, now?
it's good. It comes and goes as it.
Okay, is that better?
It won't be
Yeah.
a screen without technical difficulties.
Nah, it's cool. Are you trying to suggest...
Yes, this career poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial.
Wait.
That's right. Surely, even a cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that.
What is this welling up inside me?
Great.
I've never felt like this before. It's a
God,
sort
it's
of
an argument armaments.
it's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey.
Oh!
Whoa.
Dude.
Objection!
This is...
I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett.
How dare you use that toe with me?
You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead.
Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you, you must provide compelling evidence. As we now know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the Curer? His mouth, right?
Yes.
Because it's
Yeah.
his tooth.
Yeah.
So that stuff takes like months to.
Yeah, he still has a fresh
Take
wound.
that.
Oh yeah, I remember. Like the radium. Hold on before you continue this. That was the watch painting, right? The that stuff that was used to make watches glow. Like they would paint it on the watches and like lick
Yeah,
the
right.
painting.
Yeah,
I think they
radium.
Yeah,
I
I think
watched-
they were bringing up the Radium Girls thing.
Yeah, I watched
Yeah, I
that
know. I was
documentary
just
today.
trying to elaborate on that. Fascinating case.
As Miss Brett so readingly pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners.
A fatal difference.
The toxic effects of Carrera are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So, for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water?
Inside?
Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example.
Ah!
Dun, dun, dun.
Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. So that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this. Is she laughing?
Don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are so puerile.
What? What do you mean?
Don't worry, little schoolboy. He'll find out soon enough.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it.
Don't
No!
Don't.
I mean, it could just slip.
Why did no one stop her?
Oh dear, how careless of me.
Come on, Butler. Why didn't you football tackle her for doing that?
Damn it, Sylph. I'm afraid some crucial evidence might have just been tragically destroyed.
No! Ow! What is it? Seeing this woman, she just smashed that bottle. And in the Supreme Court, what a terrible blunder.
Officer, what are you waiting for? Smash her knees. Oh, no. Collect up as much of that water from that broken bottle as possible at once.
You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift for the British Empire. I assure you, it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it.
I just want to bitch slap this woman.
How could you? You won't get away with this.
Come on, let him call her a bitch.
You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle or not.
You.
And let us not forget, we still have some compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution?
Oh, of course, of course. You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady?
Shut up, Simp.
That's right. And really, look at this photograph. It's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting there with his back to me. So, of course, the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
Objection!
No. You killed the victim that day, using Carrere. And then, in order to frame Renosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor in his chair around. You see? You had every opportunity to commit this crime.
What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence.
Exactly. And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Renosuke Naruhodo. Ugh. This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now, is she really gonna get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene.
Renosuke,
Yes?
we've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it.
What? What do you mean?
We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head.
In my head?
You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend upon.
Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head.
So think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt, every color.
What you smelled.
Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of this same scene in my head, could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. Haha, you always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Renosuke? Come on, then. Let's wipe the smug smile off that English woman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. It's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it is could be the key to arriving at the truth about all this. It's here somewhere. The clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is...
Take that!
Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this. Yes, what is it? He's still miles away, probably thinking about that bottle being smashed.
I mean, who wouldn't have?
As you've
It
said
was a
number...
beautiful bottle. It had a family.
As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wondered, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day?
Objection!
Wait a minute. Where are you going with...
Shut up. Where are you going with this little boy?
It's just a memory that's been troubling me.
What memory?
I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a splattering of blood.
What?
Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor.
No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him.
Ah!
Yes. For blood to have made it onto the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter, which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor, as you were. Giselle Brett.
I beg your pardon?
Objection!
This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense. Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing?
Hold it!
This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to.
Inspector, you mean...
Yes, I took the plate. In the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it.
You did what?
I took the steak that you had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. And I did it all In the name of justice.
You say with the bit of blood in the corner of your mouth.
Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a blood stain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it now.
Small heads up, there's a little bit of lag.
Okay.
Oh. I can read it, but it's just Vaseline. Inspector! The court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately.
Yes, sir. God, it's gonna take me forever. Sorry for the delay. It took nearly 5 hours. Here is what you ordered. The steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it?
Of course there isn't.
Quickly, Inspector, the blood man, show the court.
The blood, man! It's like, come on, the blood, man, come on! Like, what the fuck, man?
I'm thinking of, like, you know how in, like, that one show where it's like, oh, show the house, show the house.
Yeah.
No, show the blood.
Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure.
Why does that sound like something you hear off like Cheech and Chong?
No. No blood. No blood anywhere. But no, that's impossible! Ow!
My back.
I know I saw it. I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate.
What an unbecoming expression, little boy. You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you.
Ah! I couldn't agree more in the case of this disgrace to the Empire.
Soup. I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial.
Let's hope so. Let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch.
Nagito says racist like Brett.
Pretty much.
Racist little Brett.
Mm-hmm. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over.
Ha! This sorry-looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly. If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest.
Was the plate I saw, or thought I saw, just a figment of my imagination? This is it now. I've lost. Renosuke, it's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. Believe in myself? Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself.
As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection?
That blood stain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all?
Your Excellency, please wait. This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth.
Objection!
The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beefsteak.
Says the simp.
Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial.
I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled.
I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, isn't it?
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court to what you are alluding. What precisely on this plate of beefsteak is this new clue to be found? It's the emblem, right?
I think we've already.
Got it.
Didn't they
Oh, wait,
already?
I guess that wasn't
mind.
it. Okay. But it's around that area. So,
Frick.
Oh, okay.
Got it!
No, that wasn't it either. You know, when you're trying to read instructions, they don't really go into that much detail.
It was eaten from the one in the photo was.
It was eaten, so the one in the photo was. Okay,
Got
let's try
it.
this. No.
Hold on.
Man, this is getting absolutely ridiculous now.
Hold on. Maybe I need to examine it first. Oh. Huh? What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin. And the hallmark is from the Hawaii era, I believe. No, I don't mean what is it? I mean, what's it doing there? Wait, did you say it was a Hawaii Koban? Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. This isn't the
Is that
first
one
time...
with that-
What?
Isn't it? Hey, wasn't it that merchant guy I was looking for?
Mm-hmm. I've heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of bullion and bullion. And I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary, though. This means... Alright, now we could try to... Okay, I think now we could try to,
Got
see it
it.
again. Oh, wait. I think I gotta...
Oh.
I think I need to go back and examine it again to look at the coin.
This is getting painful by the minute, you guys.
See, the guide I'm using doesn't, like, give you, like, detail.
Holy fuck.
Oh, there we go. I certainly never expected to find a precious coin underneath this thick cut of meat. It's from the Hoi era, too. That would make it really quite valuable. It's well marinated as the juices as well. Look. What? Are you thinking of eating it? No, no! But the next time I order a steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure. My heart's gonna be racing as I lift up the meat and peer underneath for a prize. I think you might have the wrong end of the stick about this, Renosuke. A Koban coin underneath the steak. There's only one logical explanation.
Ugh, I can't watch.
What do you mean?
I'm saying if you fuck up on this one,
Is there? Oh, never mind. I was gonna say, is the coin in evidence now, or?
I don't know. Oh, I can't even present it as evidence. Oh, but wait. I think...
man.
Oh, wait, I can't even access the court record anymore. So, maybe this will do it.
Got it.
Oh god.
What the hell?
Oh no.
I don't get it then.
Oh.
I-
Well, we're guilty.
Shit.
Okay.
I think we can also, I think we can retry.
Hold on. I'm gonna have to look at another guide then, because they don't seem to... Oh, hey, look, they have the same, closing door effect, is it? Retry from this scene.
Whoa.
Yes.
Holy crap. You alright, Sylph?
I'm fine. Just knock the mic up down.
Alright, hold on. Apparently this guy does not want to be friendly.
It just decided to say fuck you.
Apparently.
For once, the cat didn't knock the mic down. Fuck that.
Now, why
That
would
is
it
so
not want to
weird.
do that? Hold on, I'm getting there.
Don't even try to breathe, or else it'll go wrong.
What?
I said, don't even try to breathe. It goes wrong if you breathe. Don't even try to make a move.
Oh, apparently you were supposed to point at it before you Okay. Okay.
That's dumb.
Okay, so this is different from other Ace Attorney games, because usually you just present what's being shown to you, but you don't actually point at something and then look at it. So that's very, very different from previous Ace Attorney games. So We're gonna have to get used to this. Now it's a little-known thing in Ace Attorney games that you have to point at something before you actually present it.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay then.
Yay,
So,
trash cookies.
lesson learned. So, we already saw this, we already saw all this. That meat does look delicious, though.
Looks like delicious roasted meat, right? Did you get that, Joe?
The what?
I said it looked like delicious roasted meat.
Of course. Now let's do it. There we go. Finally.
Good gracious, that's...
Copen!
What on earth?
Ahoy era one at that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant on the day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat?
Shut up. What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what it is, but I want no part of it.
I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat? That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction.
Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen? A rare Hoei Koben just happens to be underneath the piece of steak? If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency. Yeah.
Yes, Counsel.
A rare Hoei Koben just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak? If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now.
By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway.
Oh!
What an
asshole.
asshole. Perhaps,
Ooh, same
little
thoughts.
boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant.
Even though I'm the one on trial here?
The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under the steak.
The owner.
Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to.
The owner of the Koben that was found underneath the beefsteak is... Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer in Omura Razute, Koryo Kyokuta-san.
Curie? As in Mr. Cucumber something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable.
Ah, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct?
Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Koben coin when it happened. at exactly the moment the gun was fired.
The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor.
Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing?
Hunting for treasure. Indeed! The Hoei-era Koban! My prized coin!
The Nis Hoy era Koban? Do you mean to tell me?
No, no, no. Please, why would Karakuta-san's Koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense.
Which is why I'm asking to bring Karakuta-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him.
Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay.
I can't believe we've come back round to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this Koban, we'll find that it's a key element in the case. What's this all about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize that it's dinner time for little baby Ido? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves.
Exploited by the police we were, like miserable dogs, forced to bear false witness. And when cast from this courtroom, myself I became a ruined man in a trice, a worthless withered antique. Nothing more have I to say. The sun has set on this Rasute shop owner's existence.
Dang.
Don't
Be
do that.
Oh, wait. Wait, is he gonna novel game end himself? What the hell?
I don't know.
Sorry. Be that as it may, Kore Kuta-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Rasutainment,
Ah! That's,
I'll
yes,
fuck myself then.
that's it. Yes, the one, the very exact one that it is. The resplendent, splendoriferous Hoei treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day.
It can't be.
As I thought.
Young man, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped?
Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices.
Sandwiched? Soaking? Seriously?
Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident, which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose.
Somebody concealed my Hoei treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate? Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing?
Dots?
Excuse me. Could I say something? Yes, of course.
Proceed, Inspector Osanaga.
I mentioned this earlier on in the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case.
Ah, yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation.
Le Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau.
Wicked crimes indeed.
We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. So that's why you were sent in undercover, is it? Yes, I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Kobin incident is the work of the same thief. So, unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid Korakuta-san's Kobin is all too clear. What?
What?
Think the court would like to hear the defense's views on this matter? Tell us who the despicable scoundrel that stole Korakuta-san's Koban and hid it under the stake?
Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant Ayesa Nosa.
What? How? How dare you? You monster!
Monster?
I stole that Kobin, did I? I'm the master thief of the carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me. It was Ido. Ido was the mastermind behind all this.
Way to throw your kid under the bus.
The baby.
You would push the blame for your crimes onto your own son, an innocent little baby? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. Ooh, you. Ah! Clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop.
What?
Ah!
He's a horse now.
Nippon Imperial Army, Sergeant Iesanosa, preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir.
I know, what the heck was that?
Do any of you know of the extraordinarily low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe?
I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recent ethnic conflicts remains in place. And I've heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes.
All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son. That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant? The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days, I'd go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I enjoy chopping my way through a good steak at the same time. It sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worryingly believable. And your target that day was the old man and his Kobin? Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all.
Oh, a terrible phantom thief you are.
I was all set to leave the stake. I was halfway through devouring when it happened.
Bang.
Yes, when the professor was shot. I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. Ido, too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could. On the double. I slipped it under the stake, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date.
Everyone's just silently judging him.
Well, perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling on your own time.
Well, Miss Brett,
Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency?
Indeed. The theft of the Koban was clearly portrayed by this baby-saddled sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder.
Of course it is. Passing a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me.
Nonsense, is it? Well, oof.
Picking up with steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork. It's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Very well, now that all questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. And good day.
Renosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming.
Oh, no, it's just something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up.
If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard.
Sorry?
You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over.
Wait, Miss Brett!
What is it now?
I'm afraid, just one last time, there's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago.
What are you talking about? What contradiction?
What new student nonsense is this?
Well, what parting words are you talking about, Renosuke?
Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Yes, I'm right. What she said there exposed an undeniable contradiction.
I'm going to need to see some evidence, Counsel. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, where is the evidence to prove it? The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed. Yes, go on.
More accurately, Your Excellency, the steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed. Now you're just splitting hairs. Not true. Doesn't something about this steak strike you as very unnatural? Unnatural? What on earth do you mean? It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett.
Noticed what exactly, Counsel?
Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork. Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself.
Sam.
Simp.
Then take a good look at this steak, in particular, the edge where it's been eaten. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. Ah! It looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all. Brett, what is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry.
Shut up.
Oh, whatever you say, dear lady.
Sam.
As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer.
Of course, of course. This will all be over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Just like, ah!
I've had enough. You irritating little spectacled samurai relic.
Of course. Dear lady!
I meant to say his voice cracked, but I just said his crack. His voice cracked.
What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the steak have for her. Renosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Yes. Now at last, it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks in a steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the blood stain I know I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day.
I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us?
Everything, Your Excellency.
Everything?
Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson.
Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats.
How can you be so sure?
Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago.
Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet.
Hasn't been? What?
But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
This is absurd! The trial has run several hours already, and you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be! I don't believe you have it!
I don't, but there is someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case.
Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial.
Even the judge is getting sick of this shit.
Who
Yeah,
possesses
pretty
the mental
much.
Yeah, I am getting tired of this. I just want to go home and watch Judge Judy. Oh,
I just want some ramen, man.
I want some spicy ramen with the chili sauce.
The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosanaga. What? I have it. Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous.
Oh,
No.
shit! There he goes!
No. I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on the stake with the teeth marks.
Yes.
Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoyed chomping my way through a good steak, and as well as admitting to stealing Kurakuta-san's coin, he told us that he slipped it under the steak. You watch it, cadet! I'm a superior officer! Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under, in fact, your own steak? Tension! Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it. In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Ooh.
But that makes no sense. That plate was taken from the victim's table.
Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin.
Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire.
Well then, how do you explain this paradox?
Exactly. Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over.
Everyone's silently judging again.
You did switch the plates?
Well, after it happened, when I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked.
Oh no.
As I said, I immediately lifted my steak and hid the coin underneath it. But then when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the one on the foreign lady's table.
What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing.
It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done.
And unbelievable!
However, fear not, Prosecutor-san.
What now?
I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform that is all I did, sir.
All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table.
Yes, that follows.
Inspector Hosanaga.
Sorry.
Yes. Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence you had taken both. Ah! That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot.
Could not possibly tell us no. I mean, a cold slab of tough meat that can't have the slightest bearing on the case.
Objection!
No, you're not wriggling your way out of it this time, lady.
I beg your pardon.
Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why this steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no?
You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me.
The reason the defense asked to see that plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing.
Thanks, he remembers.
I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett.
Let us not prolong this any longer, Inspector. You will show the evidence to the court. Present the beef steak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident.
Yes, sir. Sorry for keeping you. Here is the other steak in its plate. Please, feel free to examine it. The blood stain. It's clearly visible. Look.
Yes!
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim.
It can't be.
In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right. Miss Giselle Brett. It's you!
Outdone by a Japanese. Me. By a Japanese schoolboy. No. No. No!
Oof. She's turning into a tea kettle. What is that?
Oh, she's now an angel.
Wait, did she just start flying?
Yes. Oh, those little chiclets. And of course the prosecutors got the black chiclet.
There's cheeks everywhere.
Even the judge was like, what the fuck?
I get free pets. I'm gonna call this one Nugget and the other one Cheap, Cheap, Cheap.
And this is Denny. This is Tommy.
Excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me.
Well, Miss Brett, think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day, the truth this time.
Gladly, Your Excellency. It was I who took the professor's life using Curer. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning.
So you plan to kill the professor knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because Carrere is unheard of here in Japan.
Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water, and it would be all over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone. And leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table.
That would be me, I suppose.
Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter. But the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I lost a chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair, that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point. So I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment.
A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man.
I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of Curer in my handbag. And my own pistol concealed under my skirt.
Under your skirt?
Damn.
So I was right. There were 2 guns.
Yes.
And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Placed where you were sure that I would notice it.
And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I'd intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up,
Bang.
That's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point, he was already dead.
naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which points the waiter appeared.
Obviously, I assumed Naraharu-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside.
That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around.
Because, of course,
You needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he picked up the gun.
So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Your Excellency,
Yes.
I wonder, might I speak with you in private later?
I shall call on you.
Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san. And now I disappear.
It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement.
This can't be. Tasatsuchi Ouchie does not lose. Not to the likes of this rookie student.
That
You
beard.
just got your ass handed to you, bruh.
You'd better start getting used to tough opposition.
Ah, Renosuke Naruhodo.
Yes?
This insult to the Achi family name will never be forgotten.
You've become conceited with age, Council, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that.
Did he just lose some of his hair? Did he just cut it?
Yes.
Nice.
1,000 millennia may pass, and still the Ouchi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan.
Whoa.
Damn.
Did he just put a curse on them?
Yep.
Damn.
Now Winston
Holy
Payne.
shit.
Now Winston Payne will always lose to Phoenix Wright from here on out.
Same with his Does he have a relative too, or?
Yes, and his brother from the 5th and 6th games.
Damn. Alright,
That's
this
why-
tri-
That's why I
What were you gonna
said-
say?
That's why I hammed the first JoJo opening. Sono Chino Satame.
This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Inosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. Thorson and idea science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new proceedings of justice. Oh. A new future law awaits, but what will it look like? I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Oh, crud. Kazuma Asagi.
Yes.
After this trial, you're set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can, absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you.
I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Ah, never mind.
As for you, Renosuke Naruhodo,
Oh, yes?
in you I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how you can carry that onwards.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
It's alright.
It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant Renosuke Naruhodo not guilty. Do 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 do.
Fucking pedals, man. Fucking pedals.
Isn't it
This
beautiful?
court is now adjourned. Enjoy the anime.
Yes, time to go home to get some Judge Judy and ramen.
I think I might try some of that naked spaghetti also.
Funny you said that. That's what I had for dinner today.
Ooh.
I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made
I
it!
can't believe it's not butter.
I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Renosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. Ha 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 ha. No. It was a pleasure to watch you at work.
Fuck.
So, you... what?
Sorry, I'm multitasking and I got killed by something in the cave.
Oh. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off.
Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence.
Ah, our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know.
Oh no, I didn't do anything.
Thank you so much. If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out.
Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate.
Your father? Ah, yes, of course.
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, judicial assistance to the defense.
Speaking of Mikotoba... Ah, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you, after all. Your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably, that's when you met Dr. Wilson? Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, you worked together? I've never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot.
I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan.
You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you?
Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way.
Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes.
That
Ain't it
reminds.
funny?
What's funny?
They are so striving to be like Britain. Now all of a sudden, like years and years from now, everybody wants to be Japanese now. How it come full circle.
Oh, right, because of the whole weeaboo thing.
Yep.
That reminds me. What's happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder.
Ah, yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit, after all. She will be leaving Japan in the very near future for Shanghai. What? Shanghai? Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that. What? But why not? Inspector Hosonaga. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate... But what's all this about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then who? Who's gonna bring her to justice?
A British consular court will hear her case, somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard.
But why a consular court?
Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we signed the Friendship Treaty.
Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right.
Then so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that.
Oh, can't they?
Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on.
So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it.
Whoa.
The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil, this new era heralded by the state of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves.
Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it.
Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink.
But Professor... You're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Renosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun.
In that case, might I suggest Le Carnival? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, Hosonaga-san, aren't you? Let's not worry about details for now. To Le Carnival! Will you accompany us, Professor? Of course. Le Carnival's food is second to none.
I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
come on, she deserves a steak too.
Yeah.
Where's my steak?
So Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma. Yes, Renosuke. I just wanted to say thanks again. That's all. You really saved my skin today. Ha 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 ha! I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference, though. One day I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me.
What? Come on, be serious.
If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean.
Oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat, I never want to go through that ever again. I did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you.
That's the point.
Sorry? What do you mean that's the point?
Listen, Renosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win?
Knowledge of the law?
No. The ability to believe.
To believe? To believe what?
A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times.
Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it.
I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe in even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person.
Believing in your client.
Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me.
Well,
You face seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me.
Thanks, Kazuma.
There's something I want to ask you, actually, Renosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me.
It sounds serious. What is... Ah, you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go.
Thank you. We'll be right there.
I convinced that guy's a fucking vampire. He keeps bleeding from the mouth.
Or he must have a very violent coughing spell.
Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory.
And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget.
Ah, yes, that too.
So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma, Professor Mikotoba, Sasato-san, who acted as my assistant, Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. But no more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life.
Dun dun dun.
And there we have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
So, next time around, we'll be going into case 2.
Woo!
But until
Maybe I can
then...
do some voice acting
Oh,
on
yes.
that one.
Oh, there's going to be some new characters. Believe me.
Yeah.
There's going to be some brand new characters and some brand new surprises, too.
Oh boy.
So until then, make sure that if you're going to be watching Judge Judy tonight after this trial, make sure that your spaghetti is completely naked. Don't put any butter on it. Put no sauce on it. And remember, a Judge Judy episode is 30 minutes long. So you want to make sure that you spend about 20 minutes cooking the pasta and then about 10 minutes eating it so that you really have enough time to get through an entire episode of Judge Judy while also enjoying that naked spaghetti, because God knows if you try to go over or under, you're never going to have a great experience. With that, for me, Circus, Mooney, and Sylph, we will see you all next week for another episode of Naked Spaghetti. Farewell.
Bye.
Bye.